Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood soup lady, Caroline, right here, and I'm going to teach you a really simple soup. It's a little bit of a lie because there's like two things that you make in advance that are not simple, but you know, they just take a little bit of prep. But then once you get down to the soup, it's like very easy. Before we start, we're gonna make a knitter kibbe. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's just an Ethiopian infused butter. We're gonna use coconut oil here because it's so delicious and vegan. It has all these delicious things in it, and all you do is just like sort of set it on the stove and you forget about it. We slice up a nice chunk of ginger. We break up a cinnamon stick. The reason why I break them up and cut them up is because you want to expose more surface area, which gets all of the nice flavor, more of it into your infused oil. And we have cardamom pods, which I smash with either a skillet or in a mortar and pestle just to like crack them open. We've got peppercorns, cumin seed. We slice up some garlic cloves. We have turmeric, oregano, and fenugreek seed. And then all you do, like I said, is you just put it with a pound, so you get a lot of leftovers, which is delicious. And you just infuse it in there, and that's how you make it. And then you strain it, and you just compost the solids. So that's how we make knitter kibbe, and that's before we start. And the other thing we do before we start is we make something called berbere, which is an Ethiopian spice blend. You know, back when I wrote this recipe a few years ago, it wasn't as common as it is today. Now I have some favorite brands of berbere that I can buy in the store, in which case you can totally skip this step. But I also make it for my soup club just so that it's like less spicy, because it can be pretty spicy. It's just paprika, fenugreek seed, some granulated garlic, ancho chilies, some more cardamom pods, this is onion powder, some like cloves, and ginger, and some allspice, and a whole nutmeg that you like smash apart. And you just like kind of toast all of this stuff, and then you grind it up. And again, this makes so much more than what you need. This recipe only calls for some simple ingredients. So like I said, you have that knitter kibbe, which we've already made. And we have the berbere. Again, you just need like 2 teaspoons, so silly, but it's so nice to have all this left over. We have our red lentils, 2 cups, which is, I think it's just about a pound. So there you go. We have a small can of diced tomatoes, and we have an onion that we chop, a couple of garlic cloves that we also chop, and we finish with some lemon juice. So I can't wait to show you how it's made. All we do to get started is we're just heating this pan until it's nice and hot. And we take that knitter kibbe, which you can even just skim it off the stuff you've made. Because if you were going to go out in the world and look for knitter kibbe, if you had like a cool Ethiopian restaurant or store market near you, it would be made with butter. So it'd be okay if you were a lacto-vegetarian, but not if you were vegan. So we have a nice hot pan here and some warm knitter kibbe. I'm going to just saute that onion, and that turmeric really gives it that sort of electric yellow color. And I'm going to add this garlic too. And season it generously with just some salt. So we're just cooking this until it's nice and tender. We don't particularly want it to take on color. All right. So all we do now that the onion is nice and tender is we add the rest of the ingredients. I'll start with the berbere just to give it a little extra toast. And then I'll add these tomatoes. And really, if you wanted to add more berbere, you can do so at the end. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water. I'm just very superstitious with lentils. I never want them to stick. So there we go. Now I'm just stirring in the lentils, and then I'll add the remaining water. It's this simple, and it's so delicious. It's a very elegant, I was gonna say, for like an Ethiopian dinner, they would actually have this as kind of a side, and you'd eat it with, delicious injera. So if you aren't a vegetarian, this is very delicious served alongside like roast chicken or something like that. My family loves it, just like this, as soup. And then you can like top it with all of the roast vegetables that you have or anything that you have from your refrigerator. It's just really lovely. but we have to add some salt, and then all you do, you bring it to a boil, you let it simmer for about 45 minutes until the lentils are tender, and then that's it. That's the whole soup, my friends. All right, so this has been cooking for about 45 minutes, and you can see I didn't do any pureeing or anything. This is just what red lentils get like when they're cooked down. They break apart, so it becomes a beautiful sort of pureed soup. There's still the delicious chunks of the diced tomatoes. And now all I'm going to do is add my lemon juice. And then obviously you just season more to taste with salt and lemon juice. I'm gonna give this a try. See what it needs. I love it just like it is. So good. It's kind of a plain soup. This one could use a garnish, which I don't love garnishes because usually they're just sort of arbitrary. But a non-arbitrary garnish would be some like chopped cilantro. That would be delicious. And like I said, you could top this with any manner of things that are in your refrigerator. And you can serve it alongside other things. If you're, like I said, roast chicken or something like that, if you're not a vegetarian. Also, this would be delicious with a fried egg. When you get this soup often as a side at an Ethiopian restaurant, you'll have like greens or salad or, all in a big plate all together, and you end up eating them all together. So I like to think of this soup that way, where you can just basically like combine it with a lot of your other favorite things. So I'm gonna give it another official bite. I really wish I could share this with you. It's just so good. It really is. And I really do hope that you make it. It is one of my favorites. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. This recipe is found in my first soup book, Soup Club, on page 37. And it's just like such a fun one to make. And I hope to see you here next week, and follow me here on YouTube and on Instagram. On Instagram, it's @Slurp Soup Club for lots of like silly and fun content. And I can't wait to see you here next week.